What is up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Talk to Me here on notfest.com. The guests this week are Max Cavalera of Soulfly. New album Totem out on Friday, August the 4th. And we have Opus from Dead by Wednesday. They are out on tour now, and their album Capital Conspiracy is also out now. And my one and only partner in crime, Chris Aiken. Chris, how are we doing today?
Awesome, man. How's it going?
I'm doing well, man. The weather is hot.
It is fucking steamy. That is for sure, man. It's funny. You mentioned Opus, and he's on tour with Generation Kill with Rob Dukes. And before we started, you couldn't stop yawning. So if you want to see something funny that involves yawning, I actually interviewed Dukes a couple weeks ago for this tour. And the whole time he was fucking yawning. The whole interview, he's like, "Oh, we're on tour with," he did a comment. Finally, I asked him in the interview, and I left it in. I was like, "What's up with you? Why are you so tired?" And apparently, he was so tired, and it plays into what you just said, because he's living in Arizona and it's so hot out there.
Mm-hmm.
He's staying awake, working his job at night.
Right.
And sleeping all day so he doesn't have to deal with the 120-degree heat or whatever. So yeah, it's just funny because, I mean, 2 or 3 different answers, he's just yawning his ass off. Finally, I was just like, "Hey, man, am I keeping you awake?" I just kind of busted his balls a little bit, but fun stuff. I love that guy, and that's a great tour, man. Dead by Wednesday and Generation Kill. That's solid, man.
Reminds me a few months ago, I was interviewing somebody, and it's just the way that they looked. Mm-hmm. But every time I started to ask a question, it looked like the person was rolling their eyes. So I literally stopped the interview, and I'm like, "Do you hate these questions? You look like you keep rolling your eyes." He's like, No, they're great questions. I'm just having to think about them. And
he's like,
I was just like, that's the first time I think I've ever gotten like confrontational with the interview subject.
Oh, I've done that a time or two.
But the guest this week, Max Cavalera, Soulfly, new album Totem, man. You and I have both talked about this album in the past, and just it's if you like Soulfly, if you like early classic, just meat and potatoes Soulfly, you're gonna love this album.
I'm surprised you interviewed Max Cavalera. It's not like you're a fan or anything.
Oh, I was rendering the video of the interview last night, and at the end of it, I'm like, I say like, "Thanks for coming on the show," and he's like, "No problem," to me, says it. And I'm just like, "Oh my God, he said my name."
Max Cavalera knows my name.
He knows to call me to me,
20 years ago, that would have been it. You'd have been like, "Yep, I'm done."
Right. I might be done after this interview.
Right.
It was funny when I sat down, because we did this interview a few weeks ago. A lot of people have already seen a little clip of it with the talking about the Pantera reunion. But I was like, I interview him so much now. I'm like, what is this for again? Like, is this for a tour? Is this for a single? Is this for a side project? No, this is for Soulfly.
Yeah. Finally, we got something to talk about with Soulfly, because I mean, he's been so busy. So he probably, of all the metal musicians, he is probably the one that the minute that one state somewhere, anywhere said you could take the mask off, he was like, "Okay, I'm on tour." I mean, he's been out there since the mandates kind of went away. He's been firing on all cylinders, and boy, Totem is a great record, though. God damn it, is that good?
Yeah, that was one of the first shows I went back to after post-COVID. I went to a couple of festivals, but this was like small club show, and I was just like, the whole time you feel like just COVID's just on you.
Don't let the it get on me, man.
It's all over me.
Well, you know me with Soulfly, brother. I'm all about the Soulfly, baby. Look at that. Always got that right handy, because what a gift from the Soulfly folks.
Yeah, that is nice. It's funny. We always ask for the reviews, iTunes reviews and whatnot, and I had an alert come through, and I was like, wait a minute, this is an older review, but I think it's an updated review. Okay. So longtime listener of the show, purchaser of many a Talk to Me t-shirt, Jay Shabluski. He looks like he updated his iTunes review. So it's a 5-star review. It says, "Great guy. Josh gets it done. Awesome guests and killer music. Aiken's all right too." And it looks like a new added thing here at the bottom. "Bob's Burgers rules."
All right. See, stop it. That's why I'm just all right, because I didn't like your damn Bob's Burgers movie.
Well, it looks like he loves Bob's Burgers so much that he edited his previous iTunes review.
It probably said Chris is a dick for not liking Bob's Burgers, but other than that, the show rules.
Right. If you're listening to this on podcast, from now on, all of these intros and outros are going to be on the Nodfest YouTube. So if you want to come look at mine and Chris's beautiful faces, head over to the Nodfest YouTube. Make sure to subscribe and smash that notification bell and
leave
all the other
comment, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a like, 5-star review.
You got to do it, man. You got to do it.
I know.
You know, I don't know if I've talked about this. I think when I joined Notfest YouTube, it was about, I think it's right around 70,000 subscribers, and they just passed 107,000 subscribers. So
nice.
Appreciate everyone that's subscribed to the YouTube for the Talk to Me podcast and all of the other good stuff.
It's probably going to go to 500,000 now that we're gonna be in front.
all of our beautiful faces on.
That's right.
You and I were just guests on the Decibel Geek podcast talking. They have a great show where they do a best and worst of, and so we would go album by album. We did best and worst of Pantera. So each album we would pick our favorite song and our least favorite song, because there's really no bad Pantera.
Right.
So, but I actually listened to that episode. I typically don't listen to things that I'm on, but I listened to it today, and you know, Senzak did a great job with the edit, and it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a great time doing it, and you know, it's kind of the hallmark of a great show is when you look up and you're like, oh wow, we've already been doing this an hour and a half or whatever it was, and that one went really fast. I mean, we were done with the things. I was like, man, what are they going to do with this? It's like 15 minutes long. And I looked up, I was like, oh, I guess we've been sitting here a while.
Right.
You know, yeah, it was good. That was a lot of fun, and it really was hard finding a worst on most of those records. That was really difficult.
Right. Yeah, there's the one thing I liked that I said was the you know, every song that you start to get into and you're like, maybe this is my least favorite. Then you hit a chorus, man, and those guys in Pantera, man, they could write a chorus.
I think the only thing we were universal on was that we all hated Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills.
Right.
I think we all hated that one, but all the rest was good. So yeah, people should definitely go check that out over, what was it, decibelgeek.com. Right?
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, over on the Pantheon Podcast Network.
That's right.
And that'll bring us right into the news. I wanted to bring up Phil Anselmo. This is actually an older interview from earlier in the year in February.
Okay.
But obviously, people are going back and mining all of the wonderful Pantera things from over the years. And Phil Anselmo says, I know Dimebag and Vinnie Paul would want the legacy and the name of Pantera to go on and on. So this past February, at least 2 months after he first approached Charlie Benante about taking part in the new Pantera tour, Philip Anselmo spoke to The Pit about what he thought about the band's late guitarist Dimebag Darrell Abbott and drummer Vinnie Paul Abbott would say about Pantera's legacy. So basically, he just says he knows that Diamond Vince would want the legacy of Pantera to go on and on.
I know Dime would.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced Vince would have wanted to do this. I'm just not convinced of it. But whatever, Vince is not here to stop it, so it's happening. So I'm going into it straight positive. I don't care what it's called. I don't care. You know, I'm going.
I'll be there.
Pantera, tribute to Pantera, whatever we're calling it. I'm going. So. And that's good enough for me.
Well, there's been some statements that even Zach said that, you know, over the years, the fellas have been talking about doing it and asking him over the years. And then there was a quote by Chris Adler, former Lamb of God drummer, about him telling Vinny not to do it. Like he was like, Vinny was asking, you know, Chris what he thought about it. So I think Vinny's, you know, dipped his toes into doing it over the years. And the thing with Vinny is Vinny didn't hate Pantera. He hated Phil because of what happened to Dime. So it's not like he wouldn't be about it if Dimebag was still here and all that stuff. I think Vinny was just mad with Phil, but you know, we all get over things over the years.
Yeah, I don't know. I can just tell you from sitting across from that guy,
Yeah.
when you sitting there looking him in the eye and you get that big Texas hate stare, it did not feel like, well, maybe he'll get over this with a little time. It really felt like, well, I better not ask that again or I'm going to get punched in the mouth.
Well, that's still all fresh though when you interviewed him.
It was 2004. So
yeah. And I actually have a quote from Rita Haney when she was on the Talk to Me podcast in I think 2017. She said that even back then, when around obviously before Dime's death, he was already trying to talk to Rex about getting the band back together. So I think that had he not been taken from us, I think he would have initiated a reforming of the band, because I mean, even I just know from being around Pantera towards the end there, I mean, Phil was on his own bus the entire time anyway. So I mean, there was already disconnect, but I think that Vinny is such a big music fan and he just understands legacy and everything else that he would have, especially if Dimebag wanted to do it. If Dimebag went to Vince and said, "Hey, let's get the band back together," there's no way Vinny's telling him no.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I just wonder if it would have been the same. I guess that's really. I kind of agree with you. If Dime said, "Yeah, I want to do this," they would have done it. I mean, because Dime, especially in today's world, Dime would have been on social media. Right. Dime would have literally said, "Y'all know I want to do it. You just got to convince Vince." That we'd have seen that tweet. If Dime was on social media.
Yeah.
And, I think it would have happened. I just don't think it would have been super comfortable. It wouldn't have been the brotherhood that we got to experience for so many years with those guys.
Oh, yeah. Even when I saw Damage Plan, they ended the show with Walk and A New Level. Mm-hmm. And they, even then, Dimebag from the stage is like, it's not us that doesn't want to be playing these songs for you guys or something like that. And then they went into Walk and A New Level. I still think it's funny that Charlie and Zach are the only ones talking about this. Like, Philip hasn't said anything. Rex hasn't said anything. The Pantera social media accounts aren't saying anything. It's just really bizarre that no statement has even been made. Like even a teaser or just like, anything, just a date or just something cryptic, anything like that.
You got to think that it's management. It's McGee saying, don't say anything. And then we'll do the big, like the Motley Crue big thing where they show up with, tombstones or some shit. And they'll have a big blowout in LA.
Hopefully they don't have tombstones.
Well, I you know what I mean? That's what Motley Crue did.
Yeah.
I would hope they don't go that route. I would hope they have 4, two drum sets and 2 guitars. And they're like, this is a tribute to our fallen brothers. We're going to keep the metal alive, whatever the spin is going to be on it. But I have a feeling that they're waiting till everything's lined up, till they have all the tour dates, all the headlining festivals, everything. And to be honest, and I don't know this to be true, I have no knowledge of this at all. So take this with a grain of salt, depending on when you're listening to this. It would shock me none if we get an announcement either Sunday or Monday this week, because the Wacken Festival is this weekend. Okay. And that's a huge type of festival that I could see a reunited Pantera headlining. And they usually announce their headliner on the last day of Wacken.
Okay.
So it would not shock me at all if on Sunday we get this announcement. The first big announcement is that Pantera will be headlining Wacken on August whatever of 2023. And that's 100,000 people. So I would imagine that would be a big enough. That's a big enough announcement to kick it up.
I do find it funny that Charlie and Zach are talking about this. I mean, even if Pantera management's going to them being like, hey, don't say too much about it, or just say, hey, no comment as of right now, or even some of the interviews they're doing, obviously they're going on Eddie Trunk and they're going on these places. I mean, you and I get those things. Hey, don't ask about this, or hey, don't ask about that. And, we're obviously gonna fulfill that and not say anything. So it's kind of crazy that they're going on Eddie Trunk and saying, talking about this stuff when, like I said, no one else in the camp is really saying anything.
Yeah, well, they might not be under the same management either.
True,
there's that. They may not be obligated to anything with Doc McGee.
Yeah, but I think I think Doc McGee and those guys would reach out to Charlie and Zach and say, "Hey, we know you guys are going on tour together. Can you not talk about the upcoming tour or blah blah blah?"
How are they going to do that? Every interview is going to ask them. Yeah. Every single interview that they do on this Anthrax and how convenient is that? Anthrax and BLS touring together, so that every interview that they do is going to lead up to the Pantera deal. So
last thing on this, I was watching some live Pantera from back in the day, and there's an old I forget what song they're playing, but at the end of it, Zach comes out. He actually comes out with a dog, which is bizarre, but it's like an Ozfest. Comes out and there's a shot of Dimebag putting Dime's guitar on Zach.
Nice.
And I'm like, man, that's awfully symbolic these days.
Sure. That'll probably be in the screen, on the screen at the shows, you would think.
Yeah. It's going to be fun though, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Me too. Can't wait.
I will say that this rumor of suicidal tendencies in King's X opening, I'm just like, nah, that's not big enough for me.
That's not good. I like Suicidal.
Yeah.
Not enough to see them, not enough to see them open for Pantera.
Right.
Love the guys in King's X. I want to state that over and over, because I know that when I just my statement in a second is going to make all the King's X people hate me.
Right.
But I love those guys. All three of them. I've interviewed 2 of the 3 in the last 6 months. I interviewed Ty and I interviewed Doug within the last 6 months. So I am a fan of them as guys, but King's X blows. They're just not good. They're not, then they're certainly not good opening music for Pantera.
Yeah.
They're
if you give me this bill, like I need not suicidal tendencies that I can go to any festival anytime and see. I mean, they've been great. I've seen them a ton over the last few years. Fantastic band.
Yeah.
And then King's X, I've just never done anything for me. I know they're one of those bands where you got to kind of, maybe one day you see them live and you get into them, or like one day it clicks or something like that, but it just never clicked for me.
Dude, the bottom line is they're Beatles influenced, and that doesn't jive with Pantera at all.
Right.
And again, I'm not trying to shit on their music, although I don't like it. I mean, it's just not a good match. You honestly need BLS or Anthrax or some very like band to those 2 bands.
Right.
Like Overkill or Death Angel or Testament or something like that. Not King's X.
That brings us to Kerry King's new band is quote unquote crushing and on par with Slayer.
Oh, sure it is. I'm sure it is. I saw this story, and like you, I'm guessing here, but I'm guessing that you will listen to this when it comes out. The minute you hear it, you see that's out there, you'll take a look, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to hear any hype about this thing, and stop comparing it to Slayer, and stop using your radio buds to go and, you went on a Buds radio show and then they said you did your music sounds good. Really? What are they going to say? Yeah, my buddy Kerry King came by and his music blew.
Right.
Now I will tell you, I don't know if I've ever told you this story. I've told it before, but in 2001, I was hosting the metal show on WMMS, and I used to get hammered before the show. There was a bar right downstairs from the station, and we used to show up, like me and my friend Pat, we used to show up like 2 hours before and just get hammered. Then I'd go up drunk and do the metal show. And one day we were in the bar, and who's sitting there but Kerry King? And it was like, holy shit, wow, Kerry King. And I went right up to him and asked him if he wanted to come upstairs and do the metal show with us. And he was like, yeah, that'd be great. And then he goes, well, in the car, I've got a copy of a new song. You know, do you want me to come up and I'll play it on the air for you? And this was before anything was out there with it. It was easily 6 months before God Hates Us All came out.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah. So we brought him up to the studio and he gives us the CD to play. And we go live and my radio partner, Matt, he goes, oh, I can't believe that you found this guy. You know, he's praising me. And then Kerry King is like, I'm not Kerry King. Why are you trying to convince everybody that I'm Kerry King? and he held with this for a long time until it got uncomfortable. And then finally he says something like, well, I could just keep going with this, but you've got that CD over there and that'll kind of convince people that it is. And then we played the song, and the song was Bloodline from God Hates Us All. And that's actually out there if you want to. That's one I know a lot of people are like, bullshit, you and your dumb stories. That one is actually, if you look up on Spotify, the best of music's bottom line, you can actually hear that appearance with Kerry King on Spotify. So it is out there if you want to hear that. It's fun.
Nice. Yeah, that's how. So why was he there? Why was he at the bar?
He was hanging out with the guys from Nile.
Okay.
Like I think he was banging some girl here in Cleveland.
Okay.
And so he came in to hook up with the girl or something. I don't know that. Let me just state that because I have no idea what his marital status or any of that is. But I think he might have been hooking up with some chick. And he was going to the Nile show that night. And so he was there, and what's his name? Carl Sanders was there. Yeah. And
Carl, you stay down here.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know who Carl Sanders was. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even invite him up. I just invited Kerry up. But yeah, he was just hanging out with Nile.
Nice. Yeah, seeing if I could see a quick it didn't really say his marital status. No. All right. Well,
allegedly was hooking up. I don't know that to be true. I'm stating that as truth. I don't know that to be true. I don't really know why he was there, but I think it was a girlfriend thing.
Nice. Couple things with the with Ripper Owens there in Cleveland. We'll transition to some more Clevelanders. Ripper Owens has put out a single with good old Jamie Josta, man. How are you liking this new single that he's put out?
I want to love it because it's Ripper, who is a really close friend. I really want to love it, and I am a huge fan and supporter of Ripper. First single didn't grab me. It sounds like kind of like everything else that Tim does. I mean, it's okay. It's, like I said to you before, I loved what Josta did with Dee Snider.
Yes.
He really revitalized Dee, and those two records that he did with Dee are great because they're in somewhat of a different direction. Mm-hmm. That first tune with Ripper, that Embattled tune, sounds kind of like what Ripper does. So, I mean, obviously that's one song out of probably 12 that they're going to do, but
right.
And I don't know what the rush is to put it out. They just announced that they were doing something. What is it? A Kickstarter or something that they're doing to raise money to produce it or something?
Yeah. I mean, most of the Josta, like, what do you call it? The, things that Josta produces that are unsigned. Basically he get, with his solo stuff, with and Josta for All, which is what Josta's putting out. The Ripper thing, I think they might have even done it with the D stuff, but you can, there's just different little packages. Okay. And I'm looking at it now. For $50, you can get for $10, you can get on the Thanks list. $50, you get on the special Thanks list.
Whoa.
$200, you get executive producer list. And so you get some other stuff with that too. 8x10 signed by Ripper, Ripper guitar pick, early preview of the new album, and your name on the on the jacket, which I think is the coolest part.
Yeah,
$10, I might do that.
Yeah, for $10. I mean, I think I had my name on the Beyond Fear record. I think I was in on that one, and I didn't pay $10. Damn it!
But other Ripper news. This is a little bit older, but I brought it up with Ripper. But Ripper says he never got a call from Judas Priest about the upcoming Rock Hall induction.
Yeah, that's pretty weak.
I think I mean, obviously it's a headline on Blabbermouth, so it's going to be a little bit probably overblown. I mean, it could easily have just been a statement of hey, did they call you about the going into the Rock Hall? And he'd be like, no, and then there's your headline. But I mean, if Judas Priest is going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I don't see Ripper going in with them. It's more of a thank you for your service, but I don't expect them to call him.
I don't know. He did a long time with them. He did 10 years.
Did he really?
Didn't he? I think it was, because he did 8 or something.
Right.
As he did, Halford came back in 2000 something?
Well, his quote is, it's a shame that the Hall of Fame can't bring in members that were in the band for almost 10 years, had a Grammy nomination, 2 studio records, 2 live records, a DVD. It's a shame they can't do it.
Yeah. And to me, the Grammy nomination is the big thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he just held it down, and what are they doing with Faulkner? Is Faulkner going to be in or not?
I don't know. I don't see a who in Judas Priest is getting inducted.
Yeah. I mean, Dave Holland, is he going to get in? I mean,
that's the thing with them, man. They've got so many former members.
Yeah. Well, but Holland went to jail for raping a kid or something. He did. That's what it was.
Right.
That's not just me being silly. That's literally what it was like sexual assault of a kid. So is he going in? I mean, he played on all those. He played on British Steel and all the big ones of that era.
Let's see. The Hall will formally induct current members Rob Halford, Ian Hill, Glenn Tipton, Scott Travis, plus former guitarist KK Downing, drummer Les Binks, and late drummer Dave Holland.
See, and to me, if they're taking Les Binks in there, they should be taking Ripper in there. 4 records and a Grammy nomination? Come on.
Right.
I hate the Rock Hall. I wish somebody would just pull one of them pillars out and dump it into the lake. Place sucks. It's so bullshit. Have you ever seen any organization that every time they do their job, it comes with controversy like the Rock Hall? Every time.
Yeah.
I mean, the Football Hall of Fame. There might be somebody who's like, oh, well, maybe this guy should have been in too or whatever, but it's never blatant. Every single year, there's a Judas Priest, a blatant misstep, or a blatant, what was it, 2 years ago with Steve Miller Band, where they wouldn't pay for any of his band to actually be there. And he blew a gasket on the stage about that his guys were charged $10,000 to sit at a table while they were nominated.
Right.
What is wrong with this stupid place? Yeah, that place is and you haven't been there. I've been there. It is a dump. It really is. Just, you've been to better rock halls or rock, what do you call it?
Hard rock cafes.
Hard rocks. Yeah. You see more good merch at a Hard Rock. You just do, unless you want to see, David Ruffin's shirt and the napkin that James Hetfield wrote Enter Sandman on. That's about it. Michael Jackson's glove. It's like, whoopee.
Yeah, you can see all that stuff at basically any hard rock that you go into, you're going to find at least a few things you like.
And the only cool thing, and I'll give the Rock Hall the tiniest bit of credit. I don't know if it's still there, but when I went through, it was there. The only cool thing was the ZZ Top car.
Yeah.
Seeing the ZZ Top car, from 6 inches away was pretty fucking sweet. But everything else in that place, I just walked around and was like, wow, there's the tie that George Harrison wore at Met Stadium Fantastic. I was like, what a bunch of garbage.
Too funny. Well, before we get into the interviews this week, man, do you have any recommendations for the week?
I do. And I'm going to go to the mighty world of YouTube this week. No TV show, no music show, or no musical albums. But I found, and you'll love this, and you may have already watched these. There's a guy out there, his username or his channel name is Mike Holderbeast. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy or not, but he shot the Down live at NOLA at the House of Blues.
Okay.
And that is all out there. It is mint video, soundboard quality, mixed, perfect audio of a bunch of the great Down stuff from live in New Orleans. Oh my God, is it good, man? And if you're looking for a specific video to watch, just look up the Lifer Pillars of Eternity video. Mm-hmm. It is mint. I'm looking at it right now. It's from 8 years ago. Yeah. It has almost 1 million views, and it is awesome. So look this guy up, Mike Holderbeast, and you will get some seriously good Down videos. So that would be my recommendation for the week.
Yeah, man, this guy, like every video of his is like a Super Joint or Philip H. Anselmo or Crowbar. Yeah, it looks awesome, man. Definitely have to check this out.
I'll wait till you hear how good the quality is. I mean, the quality of this is better than the Down, Diary of a Mad Band or whatever that thing was called. It's way better than that. So check it out, man. It's really good.
Well, my recommendation this week is actually, I believe, a recommendation of yours from last week. And it's the documentary, The Most Hated Man on the Internet. Oh man.
That guy was a real piece of shit, wasn't he?
Yeah, we were sitting there like the other day and just nothing to watch. And the wife fell asleep on the couch and I hit play on this thing. And my goodness, man, I'm over here having to Google butthole girl and everything else, trying to see what's going on with these people, man.
Yeah, I don't know who was worse, him or the people that knew what he was about and kept going, like butthole girl, that knew he was a piece of shit, but just wouldn't cut him out of her life. Just kept letting him in. Okay, well, yeah, sure, let's do a video call and what? He already embarrassed you. Stop it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, people just want to be famous. And they, even she said back then, she realized that, if she wanted to be a webcam girl, she could drive traffic from, what was the website that he ran?
Is anyone
up.com. Yeah. And just every character in there, man. And his girlfriend, she was just a piece of work too. And this everything about that documentary just screams just insanity.
How did he only get 30 months?
Yeah.
How did that happen that he only got 2 years of time? That was the part that amazed me. I mean, he was literally threatening people's lives and stuff, and he only got 2 years.
Well, the crazy part about it was the hacking. Like, I mean, if that website was legit, just revenge photos, revenge porn, all that stuff. Like if that was the website itself, I don't really think they could have done much about it. But the fact that they were in there just blatantly hacking people, which, you'll get those random texts every once in a while or a message like, "Hey man, I'm locked out of my Facebook. Can you help me?" Like those messages still happen. But I mean, I'm assuming when all of this stuff started coming down, I mean, that was fairly new.
Sure.
People weren't privy to that, but it was also crazy just how many people have those photos just in their Gmail account.
Yeah, or in their documents folder on their computer. Here, take it. If you ever want to watch something that's really fun, it's fun in the most crazy way. I don't know the YouTube guy's name, but if you just look up beating scammers, okay, there's this guy, and what he does is he pretends he's an old lady when the scammers call him, and then he gets them to connect to his computer to try and steal his money.
Yeah.
And then he goes and deletes everything on their computer so that their computers crash. It's the best channel. And I mean, there's hundreds of videos of this guy. And then the scammer's like, please give me my files back. Cause he does the same thing. He goes right in and he deletes all their family photos and all their, these guys are using their home computers.
Right.
They're, and he just goes in and hacks the hackers and steals all their pictures and deletes all their, the accounts of people that they've ripped off and stuff. So it's cool. I love seeing hackers get theirs. So I liked seeing on some level that the Is Anyone Up guy got his, even though I freely admitted I was a very active user of his website back in the day. I didn't know all the hacking was going on, but I was definitely a frequent user of his website. And but yeah, I liked seeing that he at least they took him down. Thank God for that.
Yeah, it's a crazy, just that whole period of time, man. Just everything about him, man. So yeah, if you guys want to check out a fun documentary on Netflix, The Most Hated Man on the Internet.
Good stuff.
And let's see here. All right, for those of you that are VIPs, stick around for the interviews with Max Cavalera and Opus from Dead by Wednesday. Right. And for you that are not VIPs, we will see you guys next Thursday.
Unless you sign up right now, and then you can flip over and see us.
There we go. All right, so so VIPs, we'll see you in a minute. Everybody else, go subscribe to notfest.com, or we will see you guys next Thursday.
Peace.